In today's video, I will show you the only 4 essential and must-have brushes you need as a beginner for a flawless makeup application. And come here, closer. I just wanted to let you know that they are all affordable brushes. The first essential brush is a sponge. I said a brush because it was easier than saying a tool, but sponges are beginner friendly. The reason why I love them is that they are so versatile. You can use them for powders, for concealers, for foundation. And what I love also about them is that it can soak up any excess makeup you have on your face and it will blend so seamlessly and flawlessly. I'm telling you. Hairbrush every single time. When you are using a sponge for creams, you absolutely need to damp your beauty sponge. So here's my damp beauty sponge. It's not wet, it's damp. So you run it under water, okay? You press on it so the water can soak up in it, and then you press as hard as possible to remove any excess water. So once that is done, your sponge is damp. Here's my damp sponge and here's the dry sponge. You can see how double the size of the damp sponge is. This is the e.l.f. Total Face Sponge. Really love this sponge. There's also this sponge I like. This one is from Real Techniques. I really like this sponge because they both have the pointy side and the flat side to it. So for beginners, what I like to suggest is putting your foundation on the back of your hand and you're going to apply it with your fingers all over your face. And then we're going to use the bottom part of the sponge to blend out the foundation. And if you don't have enough foundation on your face, you can always go back and apply more. That's why I love this technique for beginners. Now, if you pay close attention, I am bouncing my sponge on my face. I am not dragging it, I am bouncing it and taking my time to blend the foundation in my skin. This is key for a flawless blend on the skin. For my forehead, because the sponge is so large, I like to pinch it and then blend on my forehead. And take your time, there's no rush in this process. It's really about taking your time to make sure everything is well blended, seamless, and flawless. Okay, now we're going to apply some concealer. And to apply the concealer, I am going in with my same e.l.f. Total Face Sponge, but this time I will be using the pointy side to blend the concealer under my eyes. The reason why this is great is because the pointy side allows you to really get under your eyes. I am applying my concealer like I usually do. And again, I am stamping, bouncing the product in. I am not swiping or dragging the product. I am taking my time just to bounce it into my skin. And again, another flawless finish. It's so beginner friendly, it's amazing. For my nose, in the same area, I'm just gonna pinch it just like that. Okay, so I can get precisely on my nose because I don't want the product to go everywhere on my nose. And you pounce it very gently. You don't have to be rough, beat your face. No, you have to tap gently, especially, the eyes are a sensitive area. So you don't want to be beating your eyes out or trying to poke your eyes, Now that I have put down the concealer under my eyes, what I like to do, and that's the thing I love the most about sponges, is that I can go back with the side I use the foundation and blend the edges of the concealer. Now it's time to move on to powders, because powders is going to set this all in place. One information I want to put out there for you, because it will be definitely useful in the future, is the difference between powder brushes and brushes that are used for cream and liquid. There's a main difference between these two types of brushes. Brushes that are intended for powders are more fluffy and supple because it allows us to pick up less product. On the other hand, brushes that are intended for cream and liquids are more dense and usually sturdier because it allows us to pick up more product. I think this information will definitely be useful in the future. With the sponge, I am going to set all my concealed areas, but this time I will be using the clean pointy side of the sponge. So earlier for concealer we used this side. This time we're gonna use that side. I have my loose powder here. I am going to dip the clean side one time because it's gonna pick up a lot, okay? And then on the back of your hand or on your hand, I'm going to use my hand. I'm going to tap the product. One, it's going to remove the excess. You can see the excess is on my hand right now, but it's also going to apply the powder on the buff evenly. Before setting under my eyes, I will be using my ring finger and gently tap under my eyes to make sure there's no creasing before I set. And then I will press gently the powder under my eye. I'm going to repeat this process for all the areas where I used concealer. Now we're moving on to the face powder brush. So it is very fluffy and supple, you know. This is a BH Cosmetic face powder brush, but a good one is the one from e.l.f. Very affordable. You pick up some product by tapping your brush into the powder, and if you're scared of excess, you can always tap your brush like that and it removes any excess. And what I like to do is the same thing. I'm going to tap my brush on my face, and once the base is set, I can go ahead and swirl. But first, you apply the product by tapping, and then you can swirl a little once everything is set. Next, I will be using my contour brush. So the contour brush usually is going to be angled and very fluffy as well. This contour brush is from Wet n Wild. Super affordable for beginners. Because it is smaller than a face brush, the angled part is perfect to apply the product precisely on the cheekbone area, the forehead. Now the fourth and final brush is the brush blush. This is more tapered and very fluffy. I really like this one. This one is from Real Techniques, very affordable. Going to tap into my blush and see it doesn't pick up a lot, so you can really build up to the intensity that you like. So I'm gonna first start with the first layer, and if I need, I will go in with more. This is giving such a beautiful, healthy look to the face. I love blush. Alright, so you made it to the end and learned about the only 4 essential, must-have, and affordable brushes for flawless makeup for beginners. I really hope this video was helpful. If it was, give it a big thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed yet, join the squad. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and I will see you all on my next one.